Okay, so we're starting now. So hi everyone again. I'd like to welcome every one of you to today's edition of the Film Connect organized by the Film Network West Africa, FNWA, which comprises of partnership across a few West African countries, including Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ghana, Togo, the Gambia, and then our partners in Germany from Berlin, Velfilm.org and Exchange Perspective. So the FNWA has been a network that has been helping to upscale the capacity of filmmakers across the West African region, especially the underrepresented film industry. It has been carrying along with film training workshops and, cinema, mobile cinema, of course, and this has helped a lot. I hope you can hear me.
Sure.
Yes. Wonderful.
Very well.
Good. So this edition of the Film Connect is only proceeding another version which was held in Liberia by our Liberian chapter. It was great. We learned a lot of things, and I was happy being part of it, and I think this would not be different. So today, we have a few people in the industry that can tell us a little bit about their experiences and what they understand about the topic, skills impact, and opportunities for exploitation. So we have Pastor Arthur Pratt, Director Arthur Pratt. I cannot say much about him. If you want to know more about him, I think I sent a chart that you can briefly glance to read and know a little bit about him. But he has been, I would say, a forefather in the Sierra Leone film industry. He has been there during the threshold to set up how things goes in filmmaking. And today, if we're proud of having activities about film in the country, he was part of that. And we also have Mr. Darami Ekaba. Mr. Darami Ekaba is a young man, a colleague whom I've been learning a lot from. You can also find his mini biography in the chat. And he's here. He has been leading various groups in the film industry. He's currently the Film Guild chairman, and he's a proactive man. And then we also have another speaker from Sierra Leone as well, Christiana Kamara. She also will be giving an insight on what she knows about the topic. And of course, she's been a colleague, a film trainer with the Film Network Africa, Sierra Leone chapter. And of course, her mini biography is there. So, ladies and gentlemen, we also have our partner representative from the Velfilm.org. We have Frank, we have Alex, we have Rhoda. I don't know if I'm getting, I'm trying to get away from the surnames because sometimes, you guys having a unique surnames, I find it difficult to, okay, but it's okay. And who am I missing from the German? I think I'm missing someone. I really think I'm missing someone. I think Dominic is also here from Germany. Yes, and okay, I think for now that's what I can see. And we also have our partners from Ghana and the rest of it. So welcome, guys. We're going to take it from here. I just want to share a little bit of the format of how things should go so that, so I think we're going to Arthur Pratt, and he's going to talk about film exploitation in terms of documentary. I know sometimes we out of documentary films It's a little bit, I don't know much about it. I don't know if there's possibility to make money from documentary films, but he can talk about that, and he can talk about the opportunities and challenges that we face in distributing documentary films. And I think each speaker has 20 minutes to talk, and then we and also have another 10 minutes to answer questions or comments. So which means ideally each speaker has 30 minutes in the session. We also have Darami Ikaba. He can talk about the skills impact, the opportunities, the challenges we are facing to acquire skills to make films in the underrepresented industries or generally. And then we also have Christina Kamara as well. So so far we're going to start with Director Arthur Pratt. So the table is yours now. And thank you once more. Remember, this is a Film Network West Africa program, Film Connect. And I would like to say, filmmaking is global. Filmmaking is different people that speaks one voice. Thank you so much. Arthur.
Thank you very much, Lloyd Zaki. Hi, everyone. I hope you're getting me. And if there's problem, if there's problem with the internet, let me know. I'll just shut down my camera so that we can get the audio going, straight up right. Because there's a lot of the internet issue in Sierra Leone is still a problem. But I would like to, in talking about this, the topic, film exploitation and opportunities, skills, impacts, and opportunities for film exploitation in Sierra Leone. I may not go back on myself, but I would just like to talk about the impact of Freetown Media Center, WION TV, and World Film. It might interest you that I will be talking about the impact of World Film because for me, I've been following the impacts of filmmaking organizations in Sierra Leone for quite a while, and I will say categorically clear that organizations that have had more impacts in filmmaking, training, education in Sierra Leone has been WION TV, Freetown Media Center, and World Film. This is not because I am on a World Film platform. This is the fact. That is what I'm saying. It's the fact. And I want people within who are listening now, even if you're not part of WION TV, Freetown Media Center, or World Film, to understand that what I'm saying is not to praise, it's not to give a shower praise on anybody, but to speak what is the fact so that we'll see what might be the next level of filmmaking, especially when it comes to documentary filmmaking in Sierra Leone. As we all know that Sierra Leone, we do not have any formal schooling, any formal education when it comes to filmmaking. It's a sad thing, but I think it's something we've made much progress in when it comes to allowing people coming in from the West with requisite knowledge in filmmaking to impact us through workshops, through different kind of training. For we at WION TV, I think, I believe strongly that we started all of this. We were at the lead of all of this. We started all of this around 2009 when Banker White, Zach Niles, and others came to Sierra Leone after Banker finished doing a feature-length documentary on Sierra Leone's refugee all-stars. That was when he contacted me. And that was how we brought together the first set of filmmakers. And within that first group of filmmakers, I can tell you that we now have at least 3 outstanding international filmmakers. These are people who have actually made mark in documentary filmmaking internationally. There is myself, humbly, the first to have been nominated for Grammy in Sierra Leone, and a Peabody, one of the first. I think Soyo Samura was also nominated for a Peabody. And I was also nominated for a Grammy. And then there is Lansana Masari Bami Boy, who is also working with me, who has also worked with big filmmaking companies, but has finally produced his own, directed his own documentary, which I produced, which is The New Boat, that looks at fishing. And there is in McKinney, there is Mohamed Conte, also known as Tyson, who has been doing great work with BBC, and has also been able to produce 2 major documentary, one on Ebola and one on sex workers exploitation. Now, aside of this, we've also impacted others. One of the greatest impacts in the film industry goes to Wealth Film. This is because Wealth Film has managed to go into communities which we have not been able to go, reaching people as far as Bo town, going into those communities in Bo, into the communities in Makeni, impacting more and more filmmakers, creating the platform for these filmmakers to be able to showcase their film outside Sierra Leone, be able to showcase their films. In as much as these are short films, but for me, that is where you start. You start by creating short films. They might be fictions, they might be documentary. I am focusing on documentary primarily because I think documentary, the documentary filmmaking platform is one in which we as Sierra Leoneans can take advantage of. Because fiction films has been taken advantage of by Nigerians and Ghanaians, and they are pretty much dominating the fiction arena. I am not like saying people should not focus on fiction film, but I think there is a huge market for us within the documentary film spectrum. There is a huge market that we can take advantage of by telling our own stories. Sierra Leone is ripe with stories, ripe with documentary stories, whether it has to deal with stories for social impact, which is what I am mostly doing, or investigative documentary stories, or whatever kind of genre it is. I think we must find ways to explore how we can take advantage of this. If you look at the issue of funding, people will notice that Sierra Leone has been way behind when it comes to international funding. Much of the funding that is coming into Africa for documentary film, for the arts, the creative art sector, is going to East Africa, Kenya to be specific, Angola and Uganda. And South Africa, they are fending for themselves, they also have in the source. And then what trickles to West Africa goes to Ghana. And Nigeria, because of their, outstanding performance, have been able to create a platform for themselves. But we in Sierra Leone do not have the market structure. We do not have the kind of market within Sierra Leone or within West Africa. But I can assure you that with organizations like Wealth Film and We Own TV and other bigger organizations, we will be able to tap into the European market, which will enable our documentary films, to expand and go into the world. So, for example, Survivors was ITVS film, which covers America, and then we have the person that is doing our business side of the film, who is from Europe, and so we have part of Survivors going into other network. And when it comes to the new boats, there is Arte. Arte was like at the top of the production of the new boats. It's an Arte World Film kind of production. These are the kind of things we are looking for. Documentary film, for me, is satisfying, even though it might not have direct wealth coming to the. But it's satisfying in the sense that you are telling your own story and you're telling it how you want to tell it. And then with the right granting connections, with applying to the right granting organizations or institutions, you are able to have the kind of grant you want to tell your story. And out of your grant, you are able to pay yourself as a filmmaker. Out of your grant, you are able to pay your production crew and other people in your team. It's just that in doing documentary filmmaking, you start, especially feature-length documentary film, you start by making the necessary sacrifice to at least show that you have a story, so that people who might want to come in organizations, who might want to come in as grantors or grantees to your film, will be able to see that you have a story. Now, let me try to round up here and let me see why I'm looking at Wealth Film and We Own TV as a huge platform. Wealth Film has started with short stories and they're still continuing with it. I think that the advantage that Steps in South Africa took in Africa, because New Boat is a Steps film. Remember, MJ Sesay Kamara is also in this as well. He is the most recent documentary filmmaker in Sierra Leone, whose first film has taken him right out in Europe, looking at two twin sisters. Kadama, I think that is the title of his film, or Sisterhood. I think it's Sisterhood is the title of his film, which is a very good story. Now, how could World Film take advantage of this? I think that World Film should graduate from short filmmaking to feature-length fiction films by collaboration. So, for example, bring together an already established documentary filmmaker. For example, Afroprat is an established documentary filmmaker already. Bami Boy is there already. Sesay is there already. And pair them together with upcoming documentary filmmakers and get them to do stories that will impact the world. The reason why you want to collaborate is for a few reasons. Collaboration helps in funding. Many people want to see collaboration between new filmmakers and established filmmakers already, or at least filmmakers who already have their first films. And so you are creating a platform to using established filmmakers to showcase or introduce upcoming filmmakers. World Film is an established organization in Europe. They can create the platform for screenings. So, for example, in festivals, television stations buying these films, because that's the first phase in documentary film trading. And then you might also have education outlets to sell these films to education institutions like colleges. And these are all outlets that survivors took advantage of. I think this particular discussion gives opportunity for us to see not only how the education that has been coming into us through World Film and Freetown Media Center, WION TV, could impact filmmakers, but also how we can be able to take our films and our filmmakers to the next level, to the international platform, get them to be in such a platform that we are able to compete with filmmakers within the European, within the Western filmmaking spectrum. I was talking to somebody that is working with Blue Eyes, and I said to them, you know, Blue Eyes is one of these organizations that gives grants, but I find out that most of the grants that Blue Eyes are giving is going to North Africa, Arab filmmakers. But we have not been able to compete with them. You know why? Because we lack the writing skills. When it comes to getting funding in documentary filmmaking, it's about writing descriptively. And because we lack the needed education in descriptive writing, we are left behind. It is not because we do not have stories to tell. That is not because we are not good storytellers. But the fact of the matter is we lack the requisite education to at least put our thoughts to paper. And that is where, like I always say, organizations like World Film come in as well. Now, I'll give you my relationship with Banker White and Zach Niles, who are the people in front of WION TV. You know what these people are always doing for us? After you go out, you find your story, you come into them, you tell them your story, and they help you build your narrative step by step. It's a mentorship kind of thing. Step by step narrative building, step by step narrative building. They ended up being producers in our films, but that is nothing. You always need your producer to either be creative or to come in with funding. So the step by step mentorship they give you establishes you. And by the time you do your second film with them, you are now able to look for other producers, meet with other people, develop your platform, you understand me, and you are now established. So I think I want to say, first of all, kudos to World Film, but I think that the intervention in terms of education has been great, and we need that intervention, especially when it comes to narrative writing and the necessary platform, you know, to establish ourselves as filmmakers. I am happy where I am today. I know that my connections has helped me. And I think that it is very, very important that upcoming filmmakers also know, you know, become aware of these connections and how these connections can help us, you know, establish us as storytellers in the world. Storytelling is in our culture. Isn't that in West Africa, Sierra Leoneans? It is in our culture. We tell stories every now and then. It's about bringing those stories, into cinema and getting the world to see what is important for us and what we want them to know about us. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Director and Pastor Arthur Pratt, for this wonderful contribution. I think we learned a lot, and I think just a few key points I would like to raise before moving to the next point is that you've made us to understand that despite the challenges, but there are also opportunities for documentary filmmakers. There are platforms where you can distribute your film. I know, of course, of accolade of getting your film nominated by the Emmys and, all the top international platforms, which is good. So, and also, you're talking about you're recommending Velfilm to graduate for short films to like long feature films and all of it. So I think the floor is open. We have 10 minutes to ask questions regarding what our colleague and speaker, Pastor and Director Arthur Pratt have just said, or if you have comments based on this one, it is open. You can raise your hand and then you give a comment or ask a question. We have 10 minutes before we move to the next speaker. All right, so yes. I'm seeing Luther. Yes, Luther, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pratt. My name is Luther from Liberia. I want to say thank you for the splendid presentation. So you talk a lot about the aspect of collaboration, and which I think is really important. But the recommendation focus a bit more on wet film. Outside of wet film, how can we, as filmmakers within the film network West Africa, collaborate? Basically, that's the question I want to ask at this time. Thank you.
All right, Luther. So when we started our own at Freetown Media Center, our story challenge, we had a Liberian who was also part of our story challenge, and when we went with him to the Netherlands. That was a step of collaboration. We've also collaborated with Ghanaians. We've also collaborated with other people in the world. Now, collaboration, the reason why I stress on World Film is because of their organizational prowess, their organizational levels, and what they could offer us. But I think it's very important for Sierra Leoneans, Liberians, Ghanaians, Gambians to collaborate as storytellers. So, for example, this is your platform. So, if there is a way we can merge, the platforms, World Film, Freetown Media Organization, so that we all as filmmakers have a platform where we meet, we know ourselves, and we know what we are good at. I think that we can collaborate a lot between Sierra Leoneans and Liberians in storytelling. There are lots of cross-border stories between Sierra Leoneans and Liberians. I always say Sierra Leoneans and Liberians. Sierra Leone and Liberia is just one country. There are a lot of cross-border stories and there are a lot of ideas. Aside of the stories, we can also collaborate creatively. So, for example, there can be a Sierra Leonean filmmaker, a Sierra Leonean story director, working with a Liberian producer or a Liberian cinematographer. Or there can be a Liberian producer working with a Sierra Leonean director or a Sierra Leonean editor or a Sierra Leonean producer. There are different levels in creativity. So let me just give you another example quickly. I'm working on my next film, which is I'm taking an outsider's look into the American justice system. As a Sierra Leonean looking at the American justice system, but I'm following the story of my brother who was incarcerated in the United States for like 27 years. My collaboration is not only with the United States, but I'm telling it's an hybrid documentary. So the part of being an hybrid documentary, I'm doing part of it like a cartoon. So I'm now looking out for Nigerian cartoonists, people who are cartoon creatives in Nigeria to work with when it comes to that aspect. So those are all the kind of collaborations that are there, and we just need to talk more and explore more.
Thank you,
Joseph, and yeah.
Thank you so much, Joseph. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Again, my name is Joseph, and I'm from Liberia. I want to say thanks to the brother for the explanation. The issue of I just want to make a comment. The issue of recommending that wet film graduate from short film to full films. I think the time is not now. I believe that right now we can stay focus our attention on getting more and more ideas. Like in the past like few years now, there are a few films from West Africa region that have been winning the award. That's a good sign. And I think if we can put in more effort, and we see that every year we have the 2, 3 films being selected for award, then I think we are going forward, and then we can have the opportunity now to move from short film to feature film. But I think the time is not now. We can deepen our understanding, our knowledge in storytelling and writing scripts and all of that, directing, and even taking the best of shots in order to move from short film to long or feature films. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Joseph. So for that, I don't know when you started working with World Film, but for those who started in Sierra Leone, it is just a suggestion that they have been in it for quite a long time, and I've seen much of their films are very, very good. I've seen a lot of the films coming out of World Film, and I think personally, in my own assertion, I think they are in place to venture into fiction, into feature-length documentary filmmaking. It's all a suggestion, and it's all, like I said, organizational level. There are people at the top of World Film who can be able to do this assessment. My assessment is just one that is from an outsider, somebody that started with World Film in Sierra Leone, that was impacted by World Film in Sierra Leone, and who is continuously seeing what people are doing when it comes to documentary filmmaking in Sierra Leone. Probably with newer communities that World Film are going into, and newer countries like Liberia, might need some time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I think we have 2 people who have raised their hands again. Okay, Luther, you can go first, and after that, Omali, you can. Yeah, Luther, yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think my second part has to do with a question on when we talk about exploitation of films. One of them has to do with the availability of television stations. So here in Liberia, for instance, we basically have been lacking a television station that focuses on Liberian content. We have one that, I'm discussing basically the terrestrial. We have one that was focusing on it, but then, for some reason, they ceased to exist. And so my question would be how, the concept of we own TV, how is that replicable in country like Liberia, like you put it? The 2 countries have similar stories and also similar way of life as well, and cross-border stories. How can we say replicate such a concept in Liberia? The second part of my question is exploitation has also got to do with money. So in as much as you are talking about collaboration and production of full feature films, can you also speak a bit on how people who are practicing producers in Liberia can then look out there and be able to source funding for such productions? Because I think I will speak this on what things they have. They will be willing to collaborate, but there are things that they can't do. And one of them might just be the fact that they will want to support, but not sometimes not at the point of finance. So how can we source funding from other places? So those are my 2 questions. Thank you.
Yeah, so Luther, when it comes to We Own TV is not a television station. We Own TV is just basically an organization, where a collaborative organization where filmmakers come together. We have a media center space here in Freetown, Sierra Leone. And so it's like owning a space. That's why we call it a TV, but it's like just a creative content organization. when you look at the other aspect of exploitation, which is looking at continued television stations and funding. So even in Sierra Leone, we also have the very same problem. Our television stations are not actually buying content. They're rather stealing our content and showing them even without our consent. But that's where organizations like Wealth Film comes in. Content are being bought in Nigeria, but many times Nigerian content are limited to content made in Nigeria. So probably, and those are more fictions. But probably when it comes to documentary filmmaking, I believe that we will be able to enter into the Nigerian market because Nigerians are not like that focused on documentary films. And we are doing a much kind of upgraded documentary films because it's all about character-focused documentaries. Whilst if you see much of what is coming out of Nigeria and other countries are like television-based documentaries in which you have narrators narrating stories and then just showing pictures. But we are following a much more creative form, which is character-based documentaries. So for me, I think that's where Wealth Film comes in, enabling us to have screening opportunities in Europe. And when we have these platforms in Europe, in time, we will be able to continue in our own countries, when our countries would have upgraded to that position in which they will be able to buy content, then our content will come. But we should also note that our content are mostly created for our people. So giving our content free to our own television stations so that our people see our work is also something worth considering, because it's also a way to showcase your work and get your work to be impactful in your country. So finance is mostly done through other granting organizations. What Wealth Film can always do is to create the platform for collaboration and storytelling to happen. And what they can always do is to supply us with the information of granting organizations and opportunities. And then it's up to us to always apply to this granting organization and opportunities with good stories. And I can tell you for free, the guys at Wealth Film will always tell you this for free, that good stories attract grants. That is a matter of must. Good stories always attract grants.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. I think we're taking notes. So Omale, can you please, because of time, just give us a brief question or comment, and then maybe Arthur can handle that just briefly before we move to the next speaker. Thank you. Omale? Omale, okay. So I think Omale is, I don't know, maybe is a mistake. So let's move to the next speaker. Thank you so much, Arthur Pratt, for this wonderful insight. I think we'll learn a lot. Now we move to our next speaker.
Thank you, man. I'm backing out because I'm on shooting. I'm sorry, Alex and the rest. I have to go. Glad to see you all. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we thank you so much. You're welcome. We move to our colleague Christiana Kamara to share some insights, about our own experience and thoughts and what she thinks it's right to do within the network and obviously outside the network. Filming is global, cinema is global. Chris?
Good afternoon, everybody. So I am here to talk on film exploitation for fictional films. No doubt that Sierra Leone is metamorphosing from its embryonic stage. We are now, moving forward. And a lot of work has been done, and we are still doing that. But the challenges are huge. They are visible. And for us to be able, as a film industry, to get to that point where we want to be, if not all, but some of those challenges needs to be addressed. So first and foremost, I would like to talk about our present or our current means of distribution in Sierra Leone when it comes to film distribution. So locally here, our main and our only form of distribution is on DVDs. So initially, years back, we used to make money from DVDs, selling of DVDs. And but quite recently, over 2 or 3 years now, we are not making money anymore. The reason being that due to lack of standards. So normally when we do a film, as a filmmaker, you do your film, maybe you do 1 or 2 premiere there and there, here and there. And then the next thing you try to put your film on DVDs for sales. And with those times, we used to realize something from it. But like I said, in recent years, we've stopped making money because of lack of standards. Now everybody goes on, somebody will wake up in the morning and get a camera, go out there and shoot a film. Those DVDs we used to sell those DVDs at 10,000 per CDs. And now all of a sudden, people will now go to the streets, or you go to town, you see people selling DVDs at 5,000. The film, they will get up one day, within 3-4 days, they've done editing and all. So what happened is that the market is flooded with substandard films. And so those of us, the few that are doing a lot of hard work in putting and getting a good film, I mean, the substandard film now has taken over the market, and so it's difficult for us to sell our films. And so now we are not making money any longer on DVDs. Like I said, the challenges of the film industry is huge. Let me just highlight some of the challenges that we are going through as an industry in Sierra Leone. Lack of film schools. It will interest you to know that there is no formal training or education for filmmakers in Sierra Leone. I will tell you for free, in this whole country, only 3 institutions offers the theater and drama courses. And this institution, it is purely 90% theoretical aspect of it. And some of these people that are opportune to get into this institution, they are there to fulfill the departmental requirement, get their grades and out of it. They are not filmmakers. They have no intention of making film as a career pathway. And so this is a huge problem. We don't have any formal training for filmmakers. So that is the reason why you find out that we have a lot of substandard films. Another challenge that the industry is going through presently, we are not being open to international distributors. We are not open to them. The reason being that these distributors, normally what they will say to us, like, the size of your population is small. And then because your size of your population is small, you find out that we have problem even with the online subscribers. We don't have much people online, much people to subscribe online. Well, as you know, the constraints, cost of living, we're still having electricity problems. We're still having high, range. The money for the data and all that is too much. And so the number of subscribers from Sierra Leone is small. And so automatically they think that we are not qualified. They don't open up to us, And that is a big problem. That is really affecting us. You have some distributors that will tell you Sierra Leone don't have a face. A face meaning that those other African countries, for example, like Nigeria, when you call Nigeria or when you call Edo, you call Mercy Johnson, you know that these are actresses. When you call OJ Production, you know that these are filmmakers from Nigeria. But in our own case, they normally says we don't have faces. And the reason of we not having faces representing in the international world, we are producing our films. We are doing a lot of work producing our films, but our films don't go far because of all of those challenges. And so because our film don't go far, they are not able, the world is not able to see our work. We are not able to make the world know of what we are doing. So basically, we are here, we are making name locally, but internationally, we are nothing. So that also is an issue. Another issue is theaters and cinemas. Ideally, when you put your money into films, you do your films after premiering and all that, your film goes to cinema. Maybe the film will be playing in cinemas for a month or so. You're making money through that. But here in my country, no cinema, no nothing. So once you're done with your premiering, and that's it, you cannot put your film out there because there are a lot of criteria for me wherein it's a problem. It's a problem. I have faced those challenges in my recent movie that I did. We put a lot of hard work and all that. We try to sell that movie to a network online stream. What did they come up with? Well, the sound is good, everything is good, but you don't have faces. That's so unfair. That's so unfair. So not having also the cinemas and theaters, I mean, it's a problem. It's a challenge, a huge one for that matter. Talking about substandard films. Our films are substandard because now, thank God for Wealth Film. Sierra Leone, the movie industry has been taking baby steps in training of professionals behind the camera. And Wealth Film, you know, has done and is still doing tremendously well. And the impact, of course, is huge, is visible. Nobody can deny that. But training of the training of filmmakers behind the camera should go with also training of the ones in front of the camera. If we want to create that kind of impact that we are looking for, I think we should also think of training the ones in front of the cameras, because these are the ones that brings out the character. These are the ones that give life and meaning to the scriptwriter vision. And so if we train those people, we train both people, both the ones in front and behind the camera, I tell you, there will be a shift, a huge shift in our entertainment industry. Remember, filmmaking is a holistic process, meaning every sector should be professional in what they do. And for me, filmmaking is also competitive. It's competitive. It goes beyond sound, it goes beyond pictures, it goes beyond all that. So having a balance in our training will help us to get something that will compete with the other countries. Having a trained people, when you are trained, you're able to interpret your script. I mean, everything will just blend nicely. But if you have a good picture, good sound, and the acting is work, how can we tell the stories? And there are stories that we need to tell. So this is another reason why our films are substandard. That is one of the reasons why our films are substandard. Another thing that is killing us in this country is piracy. We have no laws to protect us, to protect our work, to protect our money. People put their money into filmmaking. If you put your money into filmmaking, it's a risk. There is no law that will protect you. And this has caused a lot of local investors, people that want to do business, they shy away from coming to the entertainment industry to invest, because before they put their money into it, they will ask you, how would I get my money back? You need to explain. How will they get their money back? When piracy is killing us, how will they get their money back? When our DVDs don't no longer, make sense to people. People don't buy them. How would we do all those things? The local televisions are not paying for our content. And sometimes it's really frustrating. And so it takes just the passion and everything to keep moving, but it's really frustrating. Piracy is killing us. Other countries are making it. They are making it, and there are opportunities that other countries are benefiting from. That Sierra Leone too, I believe, should benefit from those platforms, like the cable, the DSTV, Canal Plus. These are all cable networks that we should be able to sell our content to. Yes. For example, when I tried Iroko TV with my films, no, they told me blah, 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 we can't because you don't have this, you don't have that. We can't take it. And then I sit down and I said to myself, what? You know what? And I called Zaki, because we did that film together. I called Zaki. I said, we need to do something. We now send the same movie to various festivals, to awards. And this same film that they are telling me that we don't have phases in that movie, that same movie won the Uncom Festival. That same movie went to Berlin Festival finals. That same movie have 5 nominations for ZAFA in the UK. So it's clear that our work was really, really good, but they are raising standards. They are putting structures for us not to break through into, I don't know what's the problem, but it's really, really frustrating. So like I was saying, opportunities are there for us to exploit. Let's talk about the streaming, the online streaming. Netflix is there. Amazon is there. YouTube is there. And I believe in as much as it's difficult to break in, because I think some of the filmmakers here, they've just been complacent now, because if I've tried 1 or 2 and it's not working, and they just say, you know what, let me just, after I premiere and that's it. And you just, decide to hold on to your product, to your content. And each year it gets, it's depreciating year after year. And so you end up getting nothing. So I think it's in as much as we're still having problems, we should continue to, try to break through these opportunities, these avenues, so that our films will continue to make money. And like I said, Netflix is there. Another one is the cinemas. Cinemas are places where these are all places that help us to, to get our money back. You know, streaming our films on cinemas, you manage to, get back your expenses and all that. And so these challenges, we need to address them in order to be able to break through. We should learn, and I'm pleading that not even Sierra Leone, only Sierra Leone, even Liberia, Gambia, let's keep sending, let's keep trying. It's really difficult. Of course, the Nigerians, they have gone ahead. Ghana, yes, they've gone ahead. We are coming. So let's keep pushing. And so, I think it would be good if we try to share contacts. If you know that you have these contacts, of sending your films and all that, let's be doing that and try to see how best we can push this film business. I think for now I want to stop here, and I thank you all.
Yes, wonderful. That's brilliant one. That's great. It's a little bit it's sad to hear some of those things about this industry, and I believe it affects other industries. So, because of time, I think I just wanna please I just want to plead to you to hold on with your comments and questions regarding Christiana's Insight. Let's jump to the next speaker, and then after that we can just ask questions for both and comments. So I hope Mr. Darami Kaba, you are there and you're welcome on the platform. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening to everybody. Like you all heard, my name is Darami, and I happens to be the chairman for the Sierra Leone Film Guild, which is the trade union of the film industry in Sierra Leone. So basically, I just want to summarize some of these things my colleagues have said already, because every other thing I wanted to say has been already said by Christiana and Ato Pratt. So basically, I want to commend World Film for everything you guys have done, because I can see the impact you've already created in that industry, which is immense. And I hope you guys can continue to do more and collaborate with our industry to help us build a thriving film industry, so that we, the young people who believe in the creative sector, especially the film, can build a well-sustainable film industry for others to come and enjoy it. And I'm talking on the scale impact in the area where we lack institutions or universities. What could happen to our film industry? Yeah. So basically, Sierra Leone is a country, like Christina just said, that lacks a formal educational sector to build filmmakers. So we only have few sets of people like We Own TV, the World Film, or SLADEA, I think, and other individual agencies that can come up to conduct a 1 or 2 days seminars or workshops for filmmakers, which for me, I think it's a very big constraint to the industry. That is why, as an industry, we have designed a strategic plan for the industry, whereby we single out a priority, which is a priority number 3, which talks about introducing skills development and training opportunities. How can we get these opportunities? How can we introduce these skills development? The way we want to do these things is by partnering with some of these organizations like yours. Come and train our people. Come and let them know what they need to acquire or what they need to know to develop, to build the industry, to build on their crafts, to do the best of things that they are supposed to do, so that we can compete. And in that priority, we have 4 action or 5 action points, whereby we'll be played in with, at some point, I think I sent a letter to SLADEA. Is this SLADEA? Please correct me if I'm wrong, yeah? That we want to partner and collaborate with them so that they can help build on the capacity of our industry. They've trained quite a few people, but that is not enough. We need more, so that these people can become trainers of trainers. Like Christiana, Lloyd Sesay, Schwab here, these guys are now teaching older people. And if you can see, you can now see that we're having good scripts coming from Sierra Leone, because Lloyd and others can now, they know what the difference is to create a good script. And now, Schwab here is somebody we can proud of to be a very outstanding cinema and camera person or editor. Ato, Bami, and others, these are people we are not proud of to be doing quality documentary films. This is because they have had a platform to go train and learn certain things they did not know before this time, and now they're impacting the industry. Yeah. So I think it's very, very key for us as an industry to focus on skills development, which is very, very key. And that is why all of my advocacy, especially in the industry, has been how we can build on this platform, how we can have institutions, organizations that can focus on building on the capacity of the filmmakers. Yeah. So we believe that the creative, if the platform is open for these people to learn, to educate themselves, and also be able to educate others, we'll be able to experiment a whole lot of things. Christiana has highlighted some of the challenges the industry face. These are challenges we cannot overemphasize because they are obvious. They cut across. You can call anyone today, tomorrow, anytime, and they will still speak on the same challenges. As I said earlier on, we said access to formal education in the training is very necessary for filmmakers because these can connect these people to learn from other experienced filmmakers or other people who've already trained how to do these things. So how do we want institutions like World Film to come in, to support us, to create more opportunities that can benefit the film industry, and how we can collaborate with other agencies and other platforms so that we can leverage on the activities of developing our film industry. I think the conversation that we've started already is a platform to build on. Now, I want to make a pledge. In as much as education is very, very expensive in our country, especially learning how to make film, because quite recently I acquired about doing a film program here, and they asked me to pay around 27 or 27 to 22 to $27,000 to do a film production course. Yeah, which nobody in Sierra Leone can afford to pay even $1,000, $2,000. If there are, there could be very few. So we need a platform like what SLADEA and other agencies are doing to create maybe workshops, seminars, to build on this capacity gradually as we are going, until as we're still advocating for industries and institutions to create a platform where we'll be teaching filmmaking, film production or documentary production so that we could be able to tell our stories. You know, everybody here knows that in Africa we have quality, we have good stories to tell, but we cannot adequately tell the stories if we are not trained how to put them in a platform or a proper manner. So basically, like I said in my intro, all of the challenges or the benefit that we hope to gain have been highlighted in the conversation. Now, what we need so badly as an industry is collaboration, partnership building, and skills development. We want the world film to invest in this sector, in this particular area, to build on the capacity of filmmakers. Producing films, I know if we have the know-how, the knowledge, whereby we know how to produce good scripts, whereby we know how to put productions together, we'll be able to attract funding. So in that regard, I want all of us in this platform right now and people who are more open or exposed out there to see how they can collaborate with our industry, especially the Sierra Leone Film Guild, as because we have a plan already. We want to roll out for 5 years, and in that plan, we have 5 priority areas. And the first priority is to build a healthy and self-sustainable film industry, where we want to build all our structures and how they could sanitize and how we can use it to strategize in building a well-sustainable industry. And the next priority is we want to enhance how we can enhance funding, how financial institutions or organizations or corporate houses can support the film industry. And even if it's coming as a grant, how those grants are coming in, or if they are coming as a loan, how those loans are coming in and how they are paid. So this is a situation, or this is an opportunity we want to explore as an industry. And also, the third priority in that document is the skills development and training, how we can leverage on that, how we can have more institutions to come on board and support us in doing this. And we also have we want to develop a marketing pathway and distribution drive, how we can distribute our films. Like Christina said, we're doing good films now, but we don't have a platform to distribute these films. We don't have the opportunities, because even the Netflix you're talking about, if you want to get there, you need to get through an agent. And if you don't have an access to an agent, how can you get to those platforms? No, there's no way. And we are very limited. We are very tight within the place we find ourselves, that we don't have contact to these agents, or we don't have opportunities to get onto these agents. So it's a challenge. How can you guys help us get to these people and get our films to this platform? Because to be very honest, I've seen films on those platforms. They are not better than our films. Some of our films are doing extremely, they portray extremely good pictures, sounds, and all, but we are facing this challenge. So we also want to look at how we can promote the transformation and creativity in the industry. How can we promote this? How can we go back to the drawing board to start producing films that reflect Africa, films that reflect Sierra Leone, and start telling our own stories? These are things we want to build upon. And how can we build upon this? A local story. How can we write a local story? How can we produce a short budget film? Oh, are you guys only going to focus on? Okay, it's fine that you guys are focused on documentary filmmaking, but it is something you could be thinking of how, like Arthur said, we can roll out in starting to engage people in producing feature films, films that can depict their communities, tell their stories. Yeah, and another priority we're looking at in that plan is to facilitate the development of infrastructures. We don't have studios. We don't have nothing absolutely in Sierra Leone. So everything we are doing is by either connections, friendship, or personal development. Like you say, we have this kind of facility, a cinema, a studio, this kind of equipment that we can go and get and do good things. No, we're just trying our best to put our things together. So we want to see how some of these organizations, you guys can help us facilitate and develop infrastructure for our industry. And finally, in our strategy, in our plan, is how we can invest in partnership and how we can collaborate and introduce things that we lack in the industry, proper awards, and how our films can migrate to some of these awards. These films are already going already. How we can revive film festivals in our country. So this can also attract other people to see what we have. And we can use this platform to show the things that we have. So to sum up, these are some of the highlights of the things we have in our strategic plan as an industry. And we want to see how we can share these documents with developments, partners, and other corporate institutions to help us build a world-thriving film industry so that our filmmakers can benefit from it, because all of what we are talking around are mentioned in this document step by step and are explained in detail how we want to achieve that. I want to say thank you for that.
This is very much wonderful, very insightful. Rami, thank you so much. Christiana, thank you so much. I just realized that last month and a few writers, we did a research. We're still doing the research. We only find out that we haven't done 5% of original Sierra Leonean stories yet. So which means the world is yet to know our stories, and that's a huge responsibility to us as writers and also to you guys as producers and filmmakers. So the floor is open for questions and comment on both speakers. Christiana, that talks about film exploitation for fictional movies, how to make money from distributing narrative films, and our brother talks about a lot on the other challenges and the opportunities we may have and the strategies he and his institution, the Sierra Leone Film Guild, are trying to put up regarding working with other development partners to ensure we have a proper structure in the Sierra Leone film industry. And also the region, of course, we have the Mano River region that has to do with Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ivory Coast, and the rest of it, Guinea and all of it, and also West Africa. So the floor is open, and there you go.
Thank you very much to our presenters. Thank you, my actress Chris. Thank you, Darami. It's a pleasant thing listening to the presenters. I think it's been really an eye-opening one. So I want to say thank you for that. Find out quickly from Chris. Chris, having shared all of the challenges, then you mentioned cinema as one of the opportunities that people within the film network West Africa can use for now. Taking into account the population of Sierra Leone and Liberia, how small they are and all of that, plus all of the challenges you've mentioned. I mean, like, how can cinema actually contribute immensely to exploitation of our films?
All right.
That's
thank
my
you.
first question. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Shall I go away?
Yes, please, because I want to take them one at a time.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So, thank you, Mr. President. All right. So, talking about cinemas. Yeah, for me, I think in as much as we have our population size is small, but growing up, we used to have cinemas in Sierra Leone. I remember we used to have the Strand Cinema. We used to have Globe Cinema, and we used to have mini cinemas around. And people usually goes to those cinemas to watch movies, matinees. And people those days generate a lot of money because, see, most people don't have places to go. When it comes to recreational activities, we don't have too much of those places. So people do find time to go out there and watch. After work, they will watch movies. During Sunday weekends, they go out, they make time with their family, their partners, they go out and watch films. And so it might not generate that kind of money, but considering little by little, let's just say you have a film and it's been placed in a cinema. No matter what, you'll be able to generate film. People, Sierra Leoneans, I don't know for Liberia, but Sierra Leoneans love watching cinemas. They love going to cinemas to watch films. They love, I don't know, they will argue, they love it. They love it, the things that comes with it. They love it. So I think it will make an impact. It will make an impact if we do have the cinemas.
And if I can just support what my sister is saying, and a few years back we did a research on the cinemas, and we are able to capture 550 cinemas. So rough estimately, and when we talk that we wanted to collaborate with the cinemas to be showing our films, either bi-weekly or every 2 days or every 3 days. If these cinemas all across the country can show one film at a go, and they happens to give the producer at least 1,000 leons. If you times 1,000 leons by 550, it's giving you more than 550 million leons, if I'm not lying. So basically, these are platforms we can exploit to build our industry. Because if a producer can get that from just a day cinema show from across the country, he or she's going to make something. She's going to realize something from what she has already done or he has already done. So I think it's a platform we can exploit. It's something we can revive. Absolutely. It's something we've been thinking how to collaborate with these cinema owners, small and big cinema owners, as to how they can show our films or showcase or premiere or either be showing our films. So I think that's just to support what Christiana is trying to say.
Thank you, Chris and Dorami. So I just want to quickly also say, in Liberia here we have the situation where there's a proliferation of little video clubs. That's how they are called, like places in the communities where you have maybe 15, 20 people will go and they pay small money to watch the Filipino movies and Nigerian movies and things that I don't know in Sierra Leone if that is the same case. Like, so is that what we also call cinema, or the big places like the one we don't have in Liberia?
No, we don't have big cinemas. We have those small places like you're saying.
Yeah.
But we still believe people still do have interest to go to cinemas to watch films. If only we can we can create this or make this as a culture. Because we have to build as a culture. We have to let the people know that this is what we do to survive, and this is what can make us build a good industry. And by so doing, when we have some of these structures set aside, these Filipino films that people show 10, 30 on one plate or go sit down on other places and do, I think we can minimize all of those things. So, like we already said, we have a lot to do, especially in collaborating within the Sub-Mano River Union so that we can try to close some of these gaps and leverage on some of the opportunities that we have already and build on them.
All right, thank you guys. So do we have any more questions and comments? I think we still have some time. Yes, I'm seeing Frank is raising his hand. Frank, welcome.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for this very interesting, very really highly interesting contribution. I have more or less it could be a question to all of you, but I think it's more or less a question to you, Derami Kaba, when you speak about SLADEA, for example. Now let's focus on Sierra Leone, I would say, but I think that could be interesting for Liberia and other places as well. If you, for example, think about SLADEA, what they do already, and with whom they are already connected, what would you suggest? What context they would still need to broaden up and to strengthen up those platforms? That would be very, very helpful, I think. So what would you suggest could be done with the help of SLADEA to create this platform?
You mean in building the industry?
With industry and whatever you think is needed so far. I mean, I think that SLADEA wouldn't be able to build cinema places all over your country, but
okay,
what could be needed in the first step?
So basically, I think we want to increase the access or training opportunities, how SLADEA can increase the access of training opportunities and participation, because I think the participation has been very, very limited or small or very small that SLADEA has been doing. They are doing extremely well, but we need to increase that one so that we can focus on career development. Like Christiana said, we can't just be training people behind the camera without training the people in front of the camera as well. We have actors who act in good films, but they lack basic things in acting. So we need people to be teaching them how to do those things. And also, we need to train more, especially on lighting, on sound. These people, we need to have a lot, if not a lot, but we need to have people who we can refer to or we can depend on when it comes to this particular profession. We've now, like I said, if you can count trained or qualified scriptwriters in Sierra Leone, you cannot point at more than 4 or 5. I can really be proud to say that. Let's say if you can talk about John Solo, Atto Pratt, and maybe John Solo, Atto Pratt, Lloyd Sesay, and few others that I know of. So how can we increase the access or the capacity of these people? How can we have more other people to join this line of people so that they can research more into our films and they can contribute in building our industry? And also, I want SLADEA to introduce maybe an exchange program. An exchange program where our filmmakers, our film professionals, especially the people behind the camera, to come to any place they can, like you guys have been doing, going to Ghana, learning from them, and how you guys can improve on that more. Maybe they need to go beyond Ghana. Maybe they need to go see first-hand information or first-hand equipment and things that how production are done properly internationally. You're doing extremely well. Taking these guys to Ghana to go train and teach them certain things is good, but we want to go more further than that. Yeah. So I think also we want SLADEA through the World Film to help us, if possible, how we can build a project that can generate through building infrastructures, studios, cinemas, if possible. Because if we can only have a studio, I think it can help a whole lot of things. Because most of the films we see, or internationally, or we see in the Western communities, most are done in studios. So you don't have to get that hustle to go and look for places you cannot create all over again. I think these are some of the things we can just build on and have a discussion around and how SLADEA can come in or World Film can come in so that we can build a thriving industry.
All right, let me add something to that. Like I said, when we are doing the trainings, we find out that a lot of people needed this training, but we cannot do all of them at a go. I don't know, but maybe I'm looking at if SLADEA could increase, World Film, of course, with SLADEA could increase on the numbers of training we are doing so that more people will have access to this training. Yeah, because maybe for the year we just do 2 places. Yeah, that is for fictional and documentary. Maybe if we could increase the number of trainings, I mean, that will access to a lot of people to make use of the facility. And also, I think at this point, we should be thinking of getting a film school. Honestly, wherein people will specialize in various areas, purely the art, you know. I mean, that way, that one will make a huge, huge difference. Maybe in the future, let's think of getting a film school. That is, I mean, at the end of the day, people will be able to learn, you know, to have a formal education on what, because I will say this for free, all of us here, we are just doing our best. We thank God for World Film. World Film has impacted us a lot. We thank God for them. But a lot of people are there with the passion and talent. It's just the natural talent they have, they are using. They wake up and just, I mean, pick up the trade and run with it. And that's it. And that's dangerous. You know, if we want to put out good films there that will represent us, then we need to have it. A lot of my colleague actresses are there. We don't have any formal training. And this acting goes beyond the face. It goes beyond age. It goes beyond how you look, the appearance. There is more to it because it's competitive. You need to be able to interpret complex role. You need to step up your game to be able to compete with other people. So for me, yeah, if there is a way that we could have, a film school, I think that will make a huge difference.
Okay,
Right. So in concluding on your question, please let me just conclude on the question Frank asked me. SLADEA or World Film already have people on the ground, and I'm also suggesting or recommending that you guys support these guys to become mentors to some of these aspiring filmmakers and film professionals, so that how, like for instance, we have Lloyd Sesay, who is a trained person now in writing scripts, how he can be a mentor to 5-10 people, and you supporting Lloyd Sesay in accomplishing this drive. It's also a way of building our industry. How you can support Shuhab to also develop another 5 or 10 cinematographers. That could be another way to build our industry as fast as I'm thinking, or I want the industry to be built. And also, we engage experienced filmmakers like Arthur Pratt and Bami Boys and other people to doing the same thing. You guys are doing it organization-wise, but we also need to streamline these things as to how effectively and efficiently we can do it and we can feel the impact.
Okay, thank you so much, Tarami. I think, Frank, you can speak quickly and then we move to Luther. Thank you.
Okay, I think what you said now makes absolutely sense. And of course, it would be nice to have a film school. So SLADEA could maybe in a few years be something like a film school, hopefully. Unfortunately, our funds are limited, our sponsors' funds are limited, and also SLADEA's funds are limited. That was why I asked you, Darami, if you could think about it. We know you're all film experts and you have all contacts, and SLADEA is in between somehow. Wouldn't it make sense to make something like a kickoff conference to connect SLADEA with more representatives of the industry in Sierra Leone, and from there you could maybe move on? That's an idea only.
Okay. Yeah, I think Darami, I think the question was for you, but yeah, but we didn't have what you said. Your mic is muted, Darami. Still muted. Okay.
Yeah. Say again.
So the only thing that I wanted to say, that maybe to get together to broaden up this platform and to strengthen this platform, which is now kind of loose. Maybe it would be good to connect SLADEA with all your contacts that you have in mind, national-wise, and then you could make it even bigger than to the international level. And if Welfilmic can be of help, then please let us know.
Of course, that will make a whole lot of help, and I think that's one key thing we need as an industry.
All right. So Luther, can you please take the floor briefly? Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you once again to Darami and Chris. I am concerned basically about, like Chris, you know about the mobile cinema tour that we have in the various countries. My concern or question could be like, I mean, from your perspective as a distributor of films or maybe a producer, I mean, how do you think such concepts could be monetized in our countries, for example, for exploration purposes that are profitable, maybe?
Hello, come again, Luther. Sorry, come again.
So I am asking, understanding like the mobile cinema tour that we do, which is one way that we have managed to exploit the short films that we do produce on our projects. I am asking in the future, let's say maybe web film has phased out, how can that whole concept become a concept that we could monetize and maybe earn from it and use it also to have our films go to a larger audience? How can we do that?
I think it's another means also in the future if we could think about it. I mean, mobile film streaming, you know. But for me, I think it will have its own challenges, because streaming our own films, we all know that it's free, yeah, and we just go there and then we put our films up and people come and watch. And now to monetize, I mean, with our own film, doing the same method, I think we need to. It's a good idea. It's valuable, but we need to put things in place in doing that. Moving from one point to another, showing our films. You know, we of course know that it involves finances and all that. But maybe we could collaborate if we want to show our films in different location. Maybe we collaborate with those people in those main towns or places where we want to show our films. We could collaborate with them. For me, if I'm in Freetown, like I want to show my film, I want to stream my film in Kailan, way back. Maybe we could collaborate with those people that are there, those people that, you know, they are connected. And then it's collaboration. We could go into percentage and we make whatever little we can get out of it. And if we do it all around the country, I mean, for me, I think we'll be able to realize something from it as producers. But it's a good initiative.
Yes, so adding to that, I think just to answer your question, Luther, I think anything is possible. There are challenges for everything, but anything is possible. Obviously, there was no streaming before, there was no online streaming before, but now we have it, and a lot of money is coming out from it. So monetizing mobile cinema, especially open air mobile cinema, is possible. I think it depends on the agreement of the industry, the structures, and how they want to look at it. They can make it a standard where everybody knows that you can pay money to watch an open field when somebody's having such kind of activities. So it just depends on, like, you know, I think that's why Frank asked Darami, you know, it's important, I suggested to Darami, it's important for the film sector to actually meet with SLADEA and other institutions like Freetown Media Center to see how they can discuss some of these possibilities. You know, once everybody's agreeing in the industry, every professional, every structure is there, it becomes a standard. And I think people would begin to pay to watch movies on open air fields and places as long as it's not wet. So do we have anybody who has a question or comment that relating to what the three speakers have spoken about, Arthur Pratt, Darami, and Christiana? Do we have comments or questions? Please.
Yeah, so hello. I don't know if you can hear me now. This is Omali.
Yes,
Hello?
we can hear you.
Yeah, it has been very bad for me. I don't know, my Zoom keeps popping in and out. So yeah, I think some people kind of commented on my point. I mean, the little time I was around. One thing I was thinking of is either having, or proposing the idea of having a film school, or working with universities in various countries for now that well film is connected, or that we have this network operating in. Maybe proposing the idea of introducing film education, and then those universities can just doing we facilitate I don't know how I see that. And then the main thing, the first one I actually wanted to say after the first one is there's a thing about network that I heard, and I became kind of concerned, and so I was thinking, what if consider
Omali, I
Omali,
think you will have to write in the comment section, and we'll get your question, because I think we are lost in you still.
he's even gone. Yeah. So, okay, cool. So, does anyone having a question or comment regarding what our speakers have said, or generally what we have discussed so far? By the way, I have received the worst beating of my life by watching films in cinema during my boyhood. So it means we have a culture of watching films in cinema and so on. I would say it's a cinema because it's just small cinema scale, you know, because people go to the places to, you know, a compartment and pay to watch films. And that is it about cinema. So we have it, it's just about improving, maybe having larger space, having, you know, state-of-the-art, you know, facilities where people can come and watch with, you know, good air conditioning, nice screen and stuff like that. But it's doable in Sierra Leone. I think cinema is workable in Sierra Leone if we go back to that path. Chris, your mic is mute. I'm seeing that you want to talk.
Hello?
Yes, Chris, we can hear you.
No, sorry. I think it's my network. Is there a question for me?
No, just.
All right, okay. So I had the last speaker. He was measuring SLADEA working with universities, right, on training filmmakers. All right. So I think that one also will be a good one for for now. You know, that one would be a good one, because if we can have SLADEA working with the university and having this a department that has something to do purely with the act, wherein students would go there and learn and specialize, that would be fine. That would be really, really great. It's another way that we can use, so that, I mean, we capacitate our people.
Okay. All right. So we're almost 70 minutes to the end of the session. We can utilize the session to maybe our speakers may have final words to say, and then we can move to our partners to give their farewell messages, and then we close for the session. So I know Arthur is not here. Darami, are you here? Do you have something to say as a final statement? And Chris?
Yes. So for me, I just want to say thank you to our partners, World Film. You know, we all know that, I mean, they have been doing extremely well when it comes to training. And we are now seeing the impact, I mean, is visible. Comparing to where we are before, I mean, the difference is great. And so we want to say thank you for the opportunity. And we are hoping that we are able to address all, if not all, some of these major issues, in order for us to continue to do good films and tell our stories.
Right. Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much for this wonderful insight and message. Darami, are you there to, as a speaker, to just...
Yes. Sorry that I'm driving. Heading to school, and but at the same time, I just want to say my last comment, and I want to appreciate Frank and Ruji and the rest of the team of SLADEA for the opportunity they've given our people and everything they've done so far for Sierra Leone and the film industry, to be specific, in the sub-Saharan region. Basically, I can see that we have potential partnership and collaboration in building an industry and also in ensuring that we have a well-sustainable and thriving film industry. So basically, as Chris was saying, SLADEA wants to partner with the university so that we can have courses and we can have a platform that people can go purposely to go train about filmmaking. I think that can help us a lot. And there has already been ideas on paper that we can present to SLADEA, where SLADEA can work on it together with the university, because I believe if it's coming from an institution like SLADEA and the film industry, I'm sure and very hopeful that the universities or the colleges can treat it with all seriousness. So basically, I'm looking forward to more partnership and collaboration and the increments of SLADEA training our people more so that we can compete internationally.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for that wonderful insight and suggestion. That's a good one, every one of you. I think I'd like to welcome our African partners to just share one or two words with us. I'd like to start with Luther. Our Liberian brothers, are you there, Luther? Okay, then if our Ghanaian brothers...
I am here, but it seemed like I was unmuting myself and you were muting me. Anyway, so I want to say thank you to Team Sierra Leone for the splendid presentation. We have had really good presentations. So thank you also, Zaki, for the moderation. I think I am taking with me the fact that anything is possible, plus I'm taking with me that we can beat the Nigerians in the production of documentary films. That is something I also took away because they are focusing more on feature films. I think I am taking that away as well. Plus, from all of our presenters, I have also learned that there are lots of opportunities and we should explore more ways to do the exploitation of our films. And so I just want to say thank you to Team Salium for the splendid presentation. And we're looking forward to learning more in this direction. Thank you.
That's wonderful, my brother Luther, for president. I'll visit you someday when you're president so that I can be in the presidential suit.
No problem.
So, yes, our brother Samuel, big brother, yes, can you share one or two words with us from our Ghanaian contingent? Samuel, are you there? Okay, so do we have any other representative from any other chapter in the Film Network West Africa network? Okay. All right, then we move to Sierra Leone. Alba, do you have something to say?
Yeah, thank you very much, Lloyd Sesay, for this wonderful presentation. Also to our partners in Germany and the FNWA. It was really a good discussion. We have good presenters who actually bring the reality of the discussed topics. I was just expecting this kind of presentation. I'm looking forward to the collaboration with the Sierra Leone Film Guild, see how we collaborate, especially what Frank has suggested. Yes, the universities, it's a good step that we can approach them, yes, with an institution, because for the University of Sierra Leone, we have a collaboration with the extramural studies. Those are doing adult education. we work directly, and they do their research directly with us. So I think that is a stepping stone maybe for us to collaborate with the mass communication department to the extramural studies department of Fabe College. And we explore other opportunities, other universities also, and see how we collaborate. And also, I just want to say we've done a lot in Sierra Leone, but yes, still we have more to do. The reward of good work is more work. And also, there are some aspects in terms of film training that we have never touched upon, like marketing and distribution, in talking about visual makeup. These are things that, like what Crystal also said, also to train actors. I think that is vital. For the documentary aspect, we've not been training people how to do like application for projects, and I think we need it badly. These are things that we'll talk about with our partners and see how we collaborate it in West Africa, and more especially between Sierra Leone and Liberia. Everything is common, just like my colleagues have said. It's just about the border, the physical border that is at Genema, that that okay, this is the division between Sierra Leone and Liberia. So we have lots of similarities and the challenges are the same. So we look how we collaborate. I know Darami Kaba is in contact with the president of Liberia Film Union, who is a member of us, 2017. So I think, I put them in contact, and I see, because it was very nice, and I know that Darami Kaba needs to be in contact with Luther, within this, I will share the contact and bring them together, because this is a collaboration that we want. We know Luther is playing a great part in Liberia, and also Darami Kaba, as a chairman of the Film Guild, all the professionals that are working in Sierra Leone, I think it's very necessary for us to, be collaborating with them. So these are things that we'll be looking at, and also we will be exploring all our platforms to see how we intensify our trainings in Sierra Leone, and also with our partners. I think, we have excellent film trainers presently in Sierra Leone. Lozaki, Christiana, Schwab, Janet, and the others. They are all, they are unique in their way, and they have put more effort into this project, and we want to see how they will move on this and see how they become mentors, just like what Darami said, attaching certain people of the, okay, now you have these 10 people, you have to mentor them in screenwriting. I think that would be is a specific goal that we're looking at. Darami Kabadi have sent us a letter for collaboration and for partnership that will sign an MOU. Yeah, it's still on the floor with us. We are still looking at it, and I believe that, we will do it, and we will collaborate with the Sierra Leone Film Guild, because if we want to improve filmmaking in Sierra Leone, these are people that we must work with. It's not an optional, it's something that is mandated, because we want to impact these professionals so that they will have good living, they will make films that address human rights issues, social issues also. So I think it would be very nice for us to work with them. So I don't want to bore everyone here. I want to thank you all, and I hope that we will continue and keep this engagement going, so that we'll have a better film network West Africa. Thank you all.
You're welcome, Alba. Thank you for that lengthy and also insightful one. I think we move to our German partners. Unfortunately, Nick is no more, but we have our three bosses. So we start from Roger. Do you have something to say? Rhea?
Well, thank you for hosting this next Film Connect session. That was truly insightful, I have to admit. It's what I think is very, very nice is that we have Darami here today, sorry, and that there is this connection now to the Film Guild, because in the end it's all about connection, just like this Film Connect works, not only internationally but also national. So everything that you can do on the ground, I mean, we as well film, we can give you like a spark. This is what we do. This is what we did with our programs, to give you a spark, to give the Sierra Leonean film industry a spark. And you have to do something with it. You have to sit together. You have to get everybody together at a table and discuss what you would really need, because there is, of course, little money, and there's, of course, little manpower. So please sit together and discuss what you want to reach. And together with SLADEA, then come with a proposal. We are, of course, in contact with SLADEA, and we work on a lot of things with them, but we need from you what you want. You have to come up with a plan, and then we can take it from there to improve everything. But we cannot do everything at the same time. We do not have unlimited funds, of course. So, like I said, and I'm sure that Alex and Frank can also say something about that. It's the ball is in your field.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rohia, for that wonderful one. Frank, can you please say something?
I just also want to thank you for this wonderful Film Connect. I just wrote it also in the chat. You did a very good job, Zaki. It was wonderful how you led us conversation. So thanks a lot for this. And thanks, of course, also to Chris, to Arthur, and Darami. I don't have anything more to say because Rohia just wrapped it up all. The only thing that came to my mind, because of this connection between SLADEA and, for example, the university, I know from Team Liberia that they also have some kind of connection with the university. Maybe in the next time we could also exchange that one, or SLADEA, or you guys contact also Luther. I know that he can speak about it. That's all. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Frank. And then we finally go to Alex. You've been silent for some time, but yes, can you say something?
Thank you, Zaki, and thank you, everybody. This was a very interesting, riveting Film Connect, I think, with lots of really great input from Sierra Leone, but also the whole Film Network West Africa. This is really great for us to know. I made some notes. We listened closely. As Rohia said, we are only human. We cannot do everything, but there are certain things that are quite inspiring to work on more also from our side. I won't tell you what, because we cannot promise anything right now, but I think there are some things that we can move forward with the next 3-year project moving beyond. So thank you very much, Chris, Darami, and Arthur, not present anymore, for this very interesting input from your professional side.
Thank you.
When you listen to you, that you are deeply involved in all this, with very good feedback and lots of experiences that help. I think the most interesting thing today was that you came up with ideas how to move things forward by yourself on the spot. We cannot forget that. That there is a lot of stuff that you thought about that you can do on the spot. Chris, I think, and Luther also, the whole cinema idea is very interesting to me, because even though you guys are young, right? Zaki, you're a young person, you do remember the cinema culture in Sierra Leone. I know it was only movie spots. It was only a little bar or shack where you would watch something. But that's a business of its own. Maybe you know people who remember that too, and who feel like maybe I could make a little bit of money out of that. Because I don't know if you have the capacities to not only make your films, but then also build up a cinema scene or movie spot culture again in Sierra Leone. But that's probably something, if you connect to other people who are movie buffs, but maybe not filmmakers, and maybe also a little business oriented, maybe you can inspire them to build up something there. So you see, I'm talking too much. I will stop now. Thank you so much. This session proved once again how important Film Connect is as a series, and let's go on with that. And I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yes, okay. Thank you so much, Alex, and everyone. Samuel, do you have just maybe a minute to say something if you have, please? Alex.
Hello, Zach. Thank you very much. I've had the opportunity to listen to a lot of the perspectives from the angle of exploitation and also collaboration. And, you know, I think that if I picked it well from Luther, who made the point that particularly with exploitation, how do we exploit that in that area, and how do we actually build collaboration, which is also all very key. And I think there was also other interesting conversations with regard to the first speaker actually making the reference that maybe Vet Firma could also go into other main productions instead of the short films. Yes, but I think that the short films that are being produced have really sparked us, has really brought a lot of attention and influencing a lot of communities and bringing people together. I have seen the film screenings in Togo. They are really very massive, in Sierra Leone and Liberia, and what happened in the past also with Ghana. So I think a lot also have been achieved. We can also dig deep as Film Network West African partners and come out with one big initiatives, even in terms of collaboration, even with all the challenges that we have. What can we do together as Film Network West African partners to be able to strengthen our own network? And so I believe that the Film Connect idea continues to exist, we continue to push, and these are also great starts, having great people like you and sharing your thoughts with us. What I would say is that, you know, these conversations are also meant also for our trainees. And I'm sure, you know, particularly in Ghana, we just launched a digital film school. So, and all the team were there. And I think after that, a lot of them are tired and going through a lot. But going forward, I think we need to take that responsibility of bringing our beneficiaries. We have to encourage our trainers and our trainees, because these discussions are actually meant for us all and not only for selected group of people. And so thank you so much. I think we started very well. The number is not bad at all. Even up to this point, I think we are 13 or so, which is really a good start. But I'm sure we can do better by still encouraging our beneficiaries of our projects to come and listen to these conversations, because it is actually, they are the reason why these conversations are being initiated. So thank you very much, and thanks to all the speakers, and we enjoy the conversations. Thank you.
Yes, so thank you so much, Samuel, and everyone who have spoken so far. It was an interesting discussion, a lot of things learned, a lot of things needs to be done. We're moving forward. And of course, yes, unfortunately, we didn't have the kind of number we expected. We did our best to actually sell out the message, especially other Sierra Leonean filmmakers, so that they can access information that can help them. But here we are, and then thankfully, we recorded the session, so that can also help us to share to them, so that maybe in their own time they can look at it again and spend some couple of hours to see what we have discussed so far. So I want to say thank you everyone for this, and I like to say, in as much as we're expecting to grow, which we must, I think it should be imminent, but we have to make use of the little we have, because that's where everything starts. So the small training we have, the little opportunity we've got from Velfim and other places, let's make use of them. Let's see how we can make that grow, because to say a tiny little drop of water makes a mighty ocean. That's what I can leave you with. And I say thank you as we come close to this. I hope to see you soon. I am Zachariah Lloyd Sesay, your perfect writer and your humble boy. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Salute.
Thank you.
And I'll keep in touch, Frank, Alex.
Yes.
I'll keep in touch with you guys.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
keep
bye.
in touch.
Yeah.
Bye,
Very good.
Alex.
Alba,
Bye,
thank
Frank.
you very much for the
touch.
opportunity, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks a lot.
Bye, Zaki. Bye, everybody. Looking forward to next time.
Yes.
Bye.
Jamil, you just came. Hi, I see you. You're from United States. You and Daram have seen each other.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye, Luther. Bye, everyone.
Luther
Bye,
for
Joseph.
president.
Yo. What's up? What's up?